Thanks for listening to our webinar here covering the Allendale 24th Annual Nationwide Producer Yield Survey results here. My name is Rich Nelson. I'm the Chief Strategist here at Allendale. I've been a part of the survey here for the past 16 years. Now, as far as this year's survey, this, of course, was a special one. A few things to line up here before we even really get into the numbers themselves. This one did have the second largest survey totals ever here as far as its past 24 years. So very good coverage in terms of the total numbers here. Also keep in mind now we had very wide coverage, a total of 34 separate states involved in the survey as well. And of course, as you can see on the screen here, valid surveys on 12 states. In other words, we have enough statistical evidence on 12 states to get some very solid numbers for 85% of U.S. corn and soybean production here. And as these two different pictures show here, we of course have a lot of questions to answer as far as the variability regarding fields from not just one state to another here, but certainly within each state. In fact, oftentimes not even just one region to another, but one county to another, one field to another. So certainly some very big questions which we've got to answer regarding these issues as far as both corn and soybean production. Now, for the past 24 years, Allendale has done more what we call this producer yield survey here. There's a few different methods of actually doing these type of in-field surveys. Of course, widely known crop tours are involved in the process during the month of August here. We choose a producer yield survey for a couple very important reasons here. Number one, there's a very wide geographic coverage within each state here. Keep in mind, weather does not just hit a state as a total here. It actually hits various regions within a state on as far as different levels of severity here. So we get very good coverage of a whole state because we are actually getting surveys throughout the entire state as well. So good geographic coverage is one big issue here. Second one, now some people could say that producers are biased and therefore they would give us negative numbers here. But actually our experience has been the opposite here. What we found is producers give us very strong and very good numbers. You can make some arguments saying that independent people going into a field can give maybe non-biased opinions, but keep in mind they don't know the field as good as the producer as a whole. So we certainly feel that the numbers that we've been given by producers throughout the years are also a very big asset and certainly not a liability here. So the two reasons why we certainly feel that a producer survey is a better appropriate measure of measuring yields, as I said before. Geographic coverage is a very big issue. Second one, producer knowledge of each field, certainly a very big benefit here overall. Now, of course, leading into the survey, this was conducted between August 19th and the 30th here, so we've got 2-week coverage in the latter part of the month of August. And of course, as this chart shows, which is a moisture deficit chart for August, we had some severe problems here, and of course they were centered as far as on a production basis most severely over Iowa. And certainly that southeast into central region is our big area of concern. Keep in mind the western edge and northern edge of Iowa actually were not hit as hard as those central and southeast regions. So our regional analysis certainly may shed some light on what could happen as far as this key state here. Now USDA, when they do their own numbers as far as surveys and such, they actually break this down into what they call districts. Simply say, keeping it simple, you can call them 9 separate regions. Within most of the main states have 9 separate regions developed here. And we actually followed the exact same plan. We take these surveys from each region itself, produce our own regional estimates within each state, and then build those up and to make a total state number here. And as far as these numbers, we'll simply look at this central and southeast regions being our main area of concern. Now here's what we found as far as some raw, unadjusted numbers from producer surveys as far as corn yields in Iowa, which is of course the top corn and soybean state in the nation. As you can tell, a simple point, the northwest corridor certainly saw the best yields of the region, leading On to the east side, you see the northeast, 168, certainly good numbers there as well. And as you would expect, we did see some problems with central Iowa, with holding the lowest numbers, and this south central as well as southeast also seeing some problems. But these really weren't the severe type problems that some people were finding here. So overall, our survey did show, yes, we've got problems, but as a whole, the corn crop will be able to develop and produce a bountiful harvest. Keep in mind, while we did see some problems with this western corn belt, we are lowering production as a whole. We actually pointed out that our survey found higher than USDA production estimates for the eastern corn belt. So as a whole, we estimate the U.S. 13.676 billion bushels. So overall, we did see a decline versus USDA's latest August estimate, but it's an 87 million bushel decline. This still leaves us with a record corn crop throughout the nation here. And on a bushel basis, that's 153.4. Our numbers did not make any changes yet for acreage. We do feel that those will be coming certainly on the October report, but not here on the coming September supply-demand report. Now, we did see some different results here for Iowa, as you would expect, for soybeans. And of course, leading that same map we showed earlier with the different regions laid out, let's overlay our raw soybean yield analysis here. And the same scenario holds true there as well. Certainly northwest region, the best region as far as numbers. Northeast also doing okay, 41 bushels per acre as far as an average for that region. And the same story shows there as far as the central region. Keep in mind the numbers are actually a little lower on a percentage basis also for the south central and southeast portion of the state. So on a percentage basis, we did see a little more of a problem developing on the soybean end rather than corn. And this is also reflected in the nationwide numbers. Now, I mentioned before the eastern corn belt did see some higher than USDA numbers actually in some regions of the eastern corn belt. But we did also point out that as a whole, soybeans did not see those numbers, whereas corn did here. So overall, 2.980 billion bushels for Allendale's estimate for nationwide soybean production. And that is a very severe 275 million bushel adjustment compared with USDA's August estimate here. And as the bolded line here shows, we are now looking at production under last year's drought damage problem here. So certainly as far as corn, not a major adjustment there. Soybeans, you do have some problems developing here, which the market still has to recognize. So corn production 13.676, soybean production 2.980, and the yield on the soybeans 39.0 million bushels, or bushels per acre here. And as I mentioned before, these numbers have not been adjusted by acreage. We certainly do feel lower acreage will be shown on the October report, but not on the September here. If you have any questions about these numbers or market impacts, Allendale's price outlooks for corn or soybeans or wheat, feel free to give us a call here, and that's 1-800-262-7538. Also, we'll have a little more information on our website, allendale-inc.com. And you can also go ahead and give us an email, which is service@allendale-inc.com.